Welcome. What we're going to be looking at in this video is we're going to be looking at creating flow and storytelling. And when you're writing your own stories, how you are able to write a story where your reader just follows on from your points from beginning to end without being interrupted and having to stop to clarify things over and over again. Essentially, if I was to tell you what flow is a style of writing which allows it to be easy to read, that allows it to make sense, and it has a natural story arc. What I mean by that is that it has a logical way of going. So your story starts from a fixed point and that it continues to unravel and develop in such a way where whoever's reading your story is able to keep up, is able to keep the right sort of pace going. And to do so in a way that has a nice even pace, that doesn't go too quickly or too slowly, that doesn't drag on and bore people, nor does it go so quickly that it's over before you know it. It's about creating the right sort of flow and storyline for your story, which will help it to not only stand out and make it sound a lot better, but also it would make it much more readable. And that's certainly something that you want to have when you're submitting a story to be marked, particularly that it is readable. So that's what we're going to be focusing on this. And a lot of writers talk about this idea of flow because of the fact that it helps people to be able to follow and to be lost within your story. Now you might be going, well, why is this important for me as an English student? Well, the thing you have to remember is that someone does read your story. Your marker, whoever is marking your work, will read your story. And so what you want to do, or what you want them to do, is to keep pace with it. As in, you want them to be able to read it, to not get lost, not go, what? Make them fall into what it is you're writing, to get your story across, to be able to follow it and do all those things. So that's why you want to be doing something like creating flow. So you're making it simpler to read to start with. The other thing you're doing is making it logical and seamless. Now I made that point of logical before, which means that you don't just suddenly jump from one thing to next and we go, why are you there? Or you spend forever talking about something that doesn't need to go in there. It's about almost being critical of your own work and going, is this necessary for my story to be told? Will people find this boring or interesting or exciting? And thinking about that, and thinking about that seamless aspect as well. As in, you can jump clearly from one paragraph to the next. That suddenly we don't go from a passage, for instance, and this is one I've come across quite often, where you'll have a story being told and then suddenly we jump to 5 months later and we have absolutely no idea it's now 5 months later. This happens quite a bit. So one of the things is making sure that the story flows and follows a nice chronological order if necessary. I mean, stories can be told quite well through flashbacks and different things, but making sure that whoever can read it can get everything out of it. As it means your story has a point. This is the most important thing, is not only does it make sense, but there is a point to it, and there always feels like there's a point to it. As in, it's not a story that suddenly drifts along and then finally you find yourself somewhere else and go, that's the end. You've got to have a sort of sensation that the story does have a purpose, that it is going somewhere, that it is maintaining some sort of interest. And that's what creating flow is all about. Making the story nice and smooth and easy to read, about writing it in such a way where anyone can pick up your story, read it, understand it, enjoy it even, and be able to give you a mark because they know exactly what's going on and they can follow it quite well. Okay, so that's the main thing, and this is what your structure should be trying to do.